Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking slash Crafting with Logan. Today we're going to be making pancake art. We're going to be grabbing these squeeze bottles and making little Mona Lisa masterpieces with pancake batter. So let's see what we need for this recipe. Oh, and can't forget, guys, I have to say thanks to ExploreNet for sponsoring this month's boxes. Without ExploreNet, wouldn't be able to get boxes out to 100 kids and make these videos. So thanks, ExploreNet. We appreciate it. So for this recipe, you're going to want just a little bit of vegetable oil to grease your pan. You're going to want to make your pancake mix according to the instructions. I've got a cup of flour here, and I've actually changed the milk to water because for these pancakes you actually want a thinner batter. I've got my egg to keep it all together. I've got a bowl to mix it in plus a whisk for mixing. I've also got my very important squeeze bottles, a funnel to get that pancake batter in there, and some fun food coloring to add some color. Always a good first step, you're going to want to take your paper towel, just lightly dip it into your oil, and just very lightly oil your pan. We actually don't want there to be a ton of oil on this because it's going to sort of distort your art. It's going to make it look all funky. It's going to kind of bubble up. So just lightly oil the pan, and if you got a really good nonstick, you don't have to use oil at all. Usually you want to use a lot of oil with regular pancakes, or even better, butter. But again, we want to keep our images nice and clean. Next, you're going to want to actually mix up your pancake batter. So I'm going to crack an egg in here, pour my water in. Then I'm going to mix those together because they're the two wet ingredients. We want to get that yolk broken up. Next, pour your pancake batter in. And actually with regular pancakes, you're going to want to undermix. But for these, we want an extremely smooth, thin consistency. Yeah, you're going to be mixing a while till there's no clumps and it's absolutely smooth. And in the end, I've got this consistency that's very runny, but not quite like water. Now it's time for the squeeze bottles. I've got my pancake batter in a more pourable form here, and I'm gonna use a funnel, but if you don't have one, just give it your best. So I'm just gonna place my funnel in there and give it a good pour, keeping an eye that it doesn't overflow. Screw that lid on tight. Now, if you're looking to use color, I recommend you fill it up to halfway. Take your dripper dropper here and put it in, and then fill it up the other halfway. That way it's easier to mix. Want to continue filling this up. Then, of course, close it up tight. Make sure it's tight because you don't want pancake flying everywhere. And then give it a good shake. And look at that. Ooh, looking nice and blue. If you don't get a color you want, you can always add in more. So it's always good to have a base batter when you're doing pancake art. This is gonna help you do some outlines and some backing on your pancakes. And then, of course, you're gonna wanna play around with color. First step for cooking, take your squeeze bottles and squeeze the air out of them. Step 2, start with your pan off. Cold, cool. Step 3, draw the lines of your pancakes. Dan from Dan Cake says, think of it like a coloring book. You want to draw the lines first and then color them in. And try to get a good idea what you're going to draw, or you might get a monstrosity. So I'm going to draw a fish. So I'm going to start with my fishy outline. Whoop, 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 whoop. I've got the body of my fish. I'm going to give him an eyeball. I'm going to give him a little mouth. I'm going to give him a fin and maybe some gills. And we're gonna start with that for our border. Then you're gonna wanna take your plain color and you're basically gonna wanna just fill it in. Next, take your plain still, and we're actually going to want to do some bordering. This is going to help your shape really pop by sort of giving it an exterior. So just draw a line all around the outside of your shape. Next, we're going to do something called backing. This is when you just sort of layer some lines of pancake batter on the back to make sure you didn't miss any sort of holes that are gonna look weird once it's actually cooked. So now it's time to actually start cooking. Now where regular pancakes you're gonna wanna cook on a high temperature so they sort of fry, these you're gonna wanna cook on a low temperature. That way we're not gonna sear any of the color out of it, and we're gonna have some time to see where our pancake's going. I'm gonna try my first one at a medium low, about a 3 or a 4. Now we gotta give it some time to heat up and cook. This might take a little while, but we're gonna watch for some bubbles to form, watch for some crisping on the edges, and then we're gonna check it. Look at that bubble and fish. It's looking super different. Looking a little crispy on the sides there. We're gonna do our best to flip it. Now what you wanna do first is something called carving. That's when you move your spatula around the edges of the pancake art, slowly unsticking it from the pan. We don't want our art to come apart at all. Oh, and it's looking like it's unstuck. Now for the cardinal pancake action, flipping. The dangers of flipping. Now, if you don't want to end up like these guys, then you're going to want to very carefully with your spatula, not your pan, just take it and really just commit. Put as much confidence into this action as you put confidence into anything. And literally just whip your hand. Ready? Like this. Whip. Just whip. You know? Just whip. Okay? 3, 2, 1, whip. And there's our fish. Great success. Now, of course, you're going to want to cook it on the other side for a little bit just to make sure you've got a safely edible pancake. But of course, it depends how thin yours is. Look how thin ours is. Now just throw some syrup on your fishy friend and you've got a artsy treat. But I'm gonna show you 2 other things to do with pancake art, layered pancakes and lettering. Now for our next one, don't forget to let your pan cool off again so that we can heat it up gradually. And we're actually gonna start with this one with a couple of normal looking pancakes. We're gonna do a small little kind of head almost. We're going to do a normal pancake sort of body. And we're actually going to do a red rimmed body. Now I'm going to put a couple of eyes into this one here, the head. And I'm going to put some dots of white into this body. Fill them in as I have before. Now that I've got my designs all hidden underneath some good backed pancake, I'm gonna turn on the heat and let these guys start cooking. Now, they're looking pretty done. Don't forget to carve and whip. Carve and... Oh no. that's okay. Shows why you got to be careful and carve. And whip. And there we go. Cut my red pancake in half, and I cooked up some little tiny antennas, and now a ladybug joins our pancake party. Now, to do lettering, you're actually going to want to letter backwards because you're going to be flipping it over, and that way it's going to be reversed. And with letters, you want to be extra precise, just being very careful of your lines here. I'm going to move extra slowly. I'm going to make a nice little message for my friend. Carving once more. Now just to give it to our friend. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Hey man, I made you a pancake. Oh, thanks guy, I really appreciate it. It says you're sus. What's that supposed to mean? Hey, and you didn't get me any maple syrup, and how am I supposed to eat this without a fork? I just don't get this guy sometimes. And our happy pancake family is complete. Woohoo! Well guys, I hope you enjoyed our foray into pancake art. I had a lot of fun, and it just goes to show how much can be done just with some pancake batter and some squeeze bottles. I hope you guys get super creative, make some designs of your own, get carried away with it, and make sure to send us some pictures too. Now, we do have 2 events going on this month. We have an ongoing photography contest. We want to see you get artsy with the camera and send us your photographs. Otherwise, on May 26th, that's a Wednesday, we've got a murder mystery game going on. Yes, have to solve a sort of puzzle riddled with intrigue. Sign up or submit for those. Please just message us on Facebook, text us, or email us. We'd love to see you participate, and all participants are entered into a draw for a prize. All right, guys, we hope you enjoy the rest of this month's activities, and we'll see you next week. Take care.